Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I guess it's every Thursday when we do this, but it's a great day. It's beautiful outside. I am inviting my amazing panelists to join me right now, and happy to have Mrs. Rashada is now Shiba on her name. It's awesome. I just can't hear you.
I guess it helps to unmute.
Sometimes it's fine though. It's all good.
Yeah, I fix my name. I was like, maybe I should do that.
Maybe it's fine. I like calling you Mrs. Rashada. It's fine. It's fine. It seems fancy. It's very fancy, right? I am so happy to have you with me every week, as always. Excited for today's topic. Excited to have my beautiful, amazing sister. I almost wore black. Why did I not get the memo of what to wear?
Oh, I should have said to you.
Why did we not text this? I'm very offended right now. It's not okay. Y'all left me out.
No.
We'll work on coordinating next time. Maybe a happier color.
It looks so professional on you both, though.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. So I am wanting to welcome my amazing sister, Dr. Stacey Herrera, to the call today. She's been on several webinars and masterclasses that I've done. I value her brain, brilliance, love, heart, all things, and especially her children so much that I am an auntie that spoils her nieces and nephews. So I am a very blessed role in my life.
Aunt of the year, yes.
That's all I want every year, is to be Aunt of the Year. Then life is complete. That and mom. I still want to be a good mom. I can't leave Hunter out. Hunter's like, hey, what the heck? We are going to dive into talking about how to create a culture of healing today. And in these 25-minute mini master classes, we really, as we say in my Renegade Collective, we go deep fast. And we get to the heart of what's really going on. And there's a lot. I was just sharing I was in a small group coaching with my Renegade Collective. It's a group of global women change makers, and just a beautiful group of humans that I am grateful to be in community with. But I was sharing a bit about what's going on in my world overall, and the things that I'm seeing across environments, cultures, communities, schools, businesses, all of the things, right? Families, it's happening everywhere. Is this invisible yet palpable trauma, sadness, hurt, fear, shit? Right? I mean, can we just lump it all into that word? I'm sure there's a few other choice words, but I'll try to keep it as PG-ish as possible. What are you guys seeing? When we think about this need for healing, when we think about like, well, we want to create a culture of that, but why? Like, what are you guys experiencing? What are you seeing? Stacey, you want to start?
I'm definitely seeing that there is this pull to get back to our previous quote unquote normal, and recognizing what everyone appreciated initially about lockdown was that opportunity to pause and slow down. And we're having challenges with how to incorporate that which fed us, which was that slowing down and intentionally making time for ourselves and our hobbies and our intimate connections, and still get back to this pace of productivity and feeling like we're making progress. And I think that battle is coming out in people feeling very uncomfortable, disconnected, and unsure how to move forward.
Yeah, for sure. That uncertainty, right? Mm-hmm. That I don't know. I just know what I feel, and I know it's not okay. right? Shiva, what about you? What are you seeing and hearing and maybe even feeling, right?
So I think, yeah, I definitely agree with Dr. Stacy that, yeah, people want to get back to the norm, especially in the world of education. And I think that people want to be healed because they've just been overwhelmed for the last 2 years. They were already overwhelmed, doing all the things associated with teaching, lesson planning, dealing with parents, dealing with students, etc. But then, and like I was kind of talking about last week, all of the protocols, right?
Mhm.
How do I keep myself healthy? And so it's just that, always that sense of just being overwhelmed, and people want to get back to the center, if that makes sense. That's a lot of what I'm seeing.
Yeah. What's the cost of being in this consistent state of uncertainty and fear? What's the cost?
I mean, to be in that constant state of discomfort, right? When your stress levels are running at a really high pace, it's draining on the body. Like there's so much research to share with us that then we're aging more quickly. There's more opportunities for disease because our system is overrun by cortisol. So the opportunities to take moments to get back to, as Shiva was sharing, that centered place, right, is what everyone is craving. And so the cost is great if we don't find a way to heal.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many people that when I'm having these conversations, whether it's in groups or individuals, and some of the words I'm hearing, I was in a workshop. I'm just gonna pull up my notes because I do want to just kind of highlight the words that this group of educators were saying. And I'm assuming we can all relate, whether we're in the current system of public education or outside, is it's this roller coaster, tired, stressed, overwhelmed, exhausted. There's not enough help in the mental health industry to serve all the humans that need the support, especially in our schools. And so then as educators, edupreneurs, as humans, we're feeling beat up. It's this, if we're in this constant state of fight or flight, and we've got all this cortisol flowing through, it's like we're being beat up from the inside out. and we can't see it. That's what makes it invisible but palpable. And when we have these cultures, these environments that we're living in as an individual, right? Our internal culture is fighting itself, right? We've got itty bitty shitty committee and every other cell fighting against each other because it's in this frenetic state. And then we're trying to connect, communicate, collaborate, innovate, do all the things that are in a healthy culture, right? There's this gap here. How do we go from beat up, not enough, never enough time, never enough resources, never enough, you're not good enough, not enough, and everyone's blaming everyone else, right? To this healthy growth mindset, innovative, collaborative, values aligned, like the upper levels of culture and communication, right? There's this journey in between. And that's really what I want to talk about today, is this journey. If we can create a culture where it's safe to heal, right? What does that look like? Because we don't get from here to here without going through, like, you have to take the steps, because if you try to catapult, you miss things along the way in the comprehensive sustainability of what you're creating, right? And so often there's this rock star desire of happiness or joy or positivity, and then it just becomes toxic because you're faking it till you make it, versus actually leaning into the pieces that allow us to be healthy. Hence I'm drinking tea because I'm talking all day. But I had 2 days ago, I just had a really rough day. And it's like I had the not enough bat, itty bitty shitty committee on overload all day, all the things. And it was overwhelming. And I felt like I just cried all day. I didn't literally cry all day because I actually functioned and had meetings, but I was crying on the inside. And then finally at the end of the day, I just let it all out and I just let myself cry. Just gave myself permission to feel and go, I just need to release. And I didn't reach out to anyone. And I had friends and even Stacy go, like, I'm here. I'm like, I know. I just needed to cry and I needed to give myself permission. I didn't need anyone else to give me permission to cry because I knew it's what I needed. And it just gave me this ability to, like, okay, I'm human. I need food. I need sunshine. I need exercise. And so yesterday I woke up and after a coaching workshop that I had, I actually just did a 20-minute cardio in the middle of the day. And I was like, thankfully there's no smell-o-vision because I was sweaty for my next call, but that's fine. But it was that permission to just heal, right? And be in this place where we create the culture we desire, starting from the inside out. And so often we're looking for external things to fix and make us happy. When what I want to hear from you guys is what are your tools and strategies that are the first steps, right? That you've taken in creating healthy environments and being on that culture of healing journey.
You know, for me, it starts from a place of self-love. I love Xander and Shiva's kind of conversation here. Xander was saying, I feel like I'm creating my own isolation. I could reach out more, but I don't want to pop other people's personal bubble. So it's kind of this strange place to be in. And so for me, the start is with this kind of self-love piece. And I was very thankful to attend a little workshop by Dr. Darcy Lord, and she had some great little tips on how to just start with 10 simple little practices, and we had to choose one. And the one that stood out to me personally was when I feel shame or embarrassment or less than, or like I want to crawl in a hole, this is my practice. I am too, say out loud, that's just evidence that I want to feel safe and loved. Of course I want to feel safe and loved. Everyone wants to feel safe and loved. And to really allow those times when you get that pit in your stomach, when you get the tightness in your chest, when you're working through so many different things, whether we're calling it decision fatigue or just being more socially anxious than we were in the past, and just saying, that's just evidence that I want to feel safe and loved. And to find ways of talking and changing that internal dialogue to be more kind and gracious and allowing.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just me being your younger sister, but like your voice and hearing you talk like that, I'm like, will you read me bedtime stories again? And so maybe it's just me. But to just the energy behind that too. I just want to notice that like the embodiment of what you just shared is equally as important as the words you spoke. And to ensure that we're aligned in our words and our sensations. Because if we are just saying things and our internal voice back here is saying, yeah, whatever, or whatever that's what my itty bitty shake me says, right? So I don't know what yours says. It's like, whatever, that's not true. So what is true? So finding the language that actually is true to your nervous system when you are reminding yourself that, of course, everyone wants to feel safe and loved, right? And I loved how you said, she gave all of these tools and the one that resonated with you, like, that's what you pick. That's what you choose. There is not a one size fits all, right? Shiva, what about for you?
So for me, it's just really doing a lot of reparenting. I was raised in a culture of the women in my family were not allowed to show emotion, right? You had to just fake it until you made it. Fake it until you make it. Oh, you're having a bad day. Cry about it later. Just we've got to finish the task, or whatever, etc. So I think for me, and especially when we're talking about any type of emotional regulation, is just to identify that this is the way that I'm feeling, right? I am sad today. And like you were talking about, Sandy, if I have to sit here and cry for 5 minutes, that is what I'm going to do. But and so that's for me, that's where I'm starting the healing process, is actually allowing myself to go through it. Because for so many years I was like, I don't even have time to be sad. And that's like, equivalent to just, if you have a scab, just, you keep picking it off and then it never heals. So that's what I'm doing. I am reparenting my inner child and allowing her to feel.
Yeah.
Feel all the feels. Yes.
And it's so interesting that we, like, I'm going to speak for myself. Even today, and I've been doing this work for 10 plus years, is I still, when I think about reparenting my own inner child, I'm like, oh, that's so lame. Like that's another, do you get my sassy itty bitty shitty me? That's how she comes out. And it's the, like, of course I have an inner child, because I, as so many of us, were not raised in this Pollyanna perfect movie scripted environment that we've all projected out there that is the ideal. Like, we weren't. And so if we're not taught what it is to be safe in our nervous systems, in relationship with others, in relationship with ourselves, these are things we don't talk about, right? These are things that have just been assumed. And I was sharing yesterday with this group of educators, is like, positive psychology and a lot of this neuroscience research is new. Like, it's only been in the last 2-3 decades. And so when we think about the evolution of our consciousness as humans, we're on the leading edge of that. It's been happening over time, if we look at the science behind it, but it's happening really intentionally right now. And we're all starting to have this on purposeness to our thoughts, our words, our actions, our feelings, our sensations, naming them, all of these things that you're like, well, obviously just name how you're feeling and then the other person knows, versus you just being stoic and going, I'll just suck it up. Right? Say, you know what, that really didn't feel good to me. Can you rephrase that so that I can hear you better? Like, we're not taught that. And yet, so the reparenting side is reteaching ourselves as well as teaching those around us, and not only giving ourselves permission, but speaking up for what's okay and what's not okay to others, i.e. boundaries. And so all of these connections, it's like we just get to give ourselves grace that we're on the leading edge of busting through this wall or pushing this boulder up, however you want to, visualize it. We as a human species are on the leading edge of this. And so it's uncomfortable when you're the first one. It's uncomfortable. And while we're not the first ones, as a collective, we're all experiencing it. And, I appreciate being in community with you guys and in doing this work, right? And really creating cultures of healing. Stacey, what else did you want to add?
I think that, there's an opportunity for us who are embracing this work, right, to continue to talk about it, to continue to model it, to continue to say it's a practice.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like ultimate concert that we're going to be preparing for, ultimate Olympic Games, right, where it will all be on display and we'll be able to get our level 10 performance. It is a daily practice. And that kind of wisdom needs to be shared with everyone, because unfortunately our culture has designed systems in a way to say, well, you go through these steps and you have this amazing outcome and then we're all done, right? And to understand, well, no, we're humans, so we're meant to evolve and grow and expand over time. And so we're going to learn this little piece, and then we're going to use it, and then we're going to learn something new, and we're going to use that, and we're just going to constantly be learning and evolving.
Yeah. So important to, people say trust the process. I say life's a game. Let's play, right? These cultures of healing get to be playgrounds. And if you think about all the dynamics that go on a playground, and my visual is my elementary school playground that happened to be next to this huge field. And so there was lots of space, and they didn't really hold us in very well like they do now. So we could have escaped really easily. We could have escaped really easily.
There was a way to sneak through and get out on the lake.
Yeah. Not safe in today's world. And as a parent, I would have been freaking out, and that wouldn't have been okay. But in my mind, I think there were the handball courts, and sometimes I would stand on the sidelines because I just needed to watch and like learn from visual. And then sometimes I would get in and I would practice handball. And then there was a point where I got really good at handball. I don't want to play all the time. And then there were times when I went over on the monkey bars and I didn't quite know how to do that. So I just watched for a little bit, and then I'd learn, and then I'd jump in, and then I'd watch other people like doing flips on monkey bars and the swirly little thing, all the things. I don't know what the equipment's called. And so, and yet like, and then you'd have times when I just sit and talk to friends and have a really cool conversation. And then there'd be other times I'd run around like crazy. And other times I just want to kind of walk by myself and just look at the trees and be aimless. And then other times so if we think about our environments and this life as a playground, and it's a game to play, choose your game and then design it, right? And if you like a game someone else is playing, join them. And if you don't, if you're not in alignment with that game, then join another one. Like, we get to enjoy this journey, and we get to give ourselves and those around us permission to explore. There is no good, bad, right, or wrong in this life, because when we label it as good, bad, right, or wrong, there is an essence of judgment in that and opinion that comes from lots of different places, right? And when we give ourselves permission to just know what resonates with us and what doesn't, and we give other people permission to do that, now we can create these healing cultures to where we can learn and grow and evolve together as a conscious, evolving, playing group of humans, right? So I want to, in our last minute, just give you guys a chance to kind of give your final thoughts on a culture of healing. Anything else you want to share, Sheba? Do you want to go?
Sure. I had to put my jacket on. It was getting cold in here, but I just really like what both of you are saying, right? We're constantly evolving. So healing, there's no set date. I think that we just want things to be cute and neat. You know what I mean? I'm going to cry now, and in 5 minutes, everything's going to be better. No, we have to understand that it's a process. And then like you were talking about, Sandy, just with play, I think as adults, when we hear that, it's like, no. You know, time is money. There's no time for joy. There's no time for play. So we've really got to just take the time to enjoy our life, right? So it's just about understanding there's no timetable and really slowing things down enough to do things that bring you joy.
Yeah.
And that, that's all a part of That's all a part of the healing. I'm going to integrate that more moving forward from this conversation, most definitely.
I love it. Thank you, Shiva. Stace, what about you? Final thoughts?
Healing is a journey, as we're talking about. And it's important to know that not everyone is in the same healing process or at the same point of their healing process. And to just be comfortable in allowing it. And if we're creating cultures of grace and collaboration and open communication, well, then the healing is only naturally going to move forward over time. It's when we close down, close off, and forget that it's all about the human connection. That's how our brains are wired. It's wired to connect. And once we connect, we can learn new things, we can grow in new ways, we can really discover this playfulness that we've been missing as adults. And we're now training little humans to not play because we've gotten rid of recess and we've gotten rid of fun and it's just all about the work. And so we need to rethink how we're modeling all of this.
So break out your Smurfs, break out your Legos, break out your whatever it is, and bring back your inner child and play because it's fun. That is your homework. I want you guys to type in the chats. What did you love playing as a child? And what are you going to do to incorporate more of that into your weeks, into your months? I won't say days because some days it's not possible, but into your weeks and into your months. So this is your homework. Make a note in the chats. If you guys are watching this Facebook Live or the recording, I love you all. I appreciate you so much. Bring more play in. You guys are worth it. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here. I love and adore and appreciate you. I will see you all next week. Bye, everyone. Thanks so much. Take care.